Following the very first case in Wuhan, China, at the end of 2019, Covid-19 spread rapidly across the globe. It has reached almost every country, infecting millions worldwide. Medical staff have worked tirelessly to care for the patients while still trying to understand the nature of the virus they're fighting. Scientists have raced to find a vaccine, and to stop the spread of the virus, most governments place their countries in lockdown, changing day-to-day life for billions of people. This makes the story of Covid-19 as much a tale about economics as one about health. More than a century ago, Alfred Marshall described economics as the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. Since these words were written, the ordinary business of life has been transformed. Millions of people, goods, services, and information flow rapidly throughout the world. The globally interconnected world has brought rising incomes and wealth to many, but it's also created great inequalities and the perfect conditions for a pandemic. As people flew around the world, attended places of worship, festivals and sporting events, went to work and school, shopped and socialised, the virus spread from country to country and person to person, and the number of cases grew. To stop its spread, schools were closed, together with most shops, bars and restaurants. People were asked to work from home where possible. Others lost their jobs temporarily or permanently. The effect on global economies was dramatic. Large swathes of economic life were turned off, or at least put on standby. When shops, bars and restaurants are closed, people spend less money. Firms produce less stuff, fewer people work. The size of the economy is measured by GDP, or gross domestic product. This captures the financial value of all market activity, total spending or total output. And since Covid-19, the size of many economies, including the UK's, has shrunk. Meet economic man and woman. They are people making different decisions that shape the economy. People who have a regular income decide how much to spend and how much to save and what to buy. If they can, people make decisions about their work and about how else to spend their time when they're not working. Sometimes it's suggested that these decisions are made by people acting independently and selfishly, but the pandemic has revealed that economic man and woman are very social animals. We've seen that social distancing very quickly makes normal economic life impossible. Some economists talk about the invisible hand of the market that magically connects atomistic buyers and sellers. Think of Amazon Marketplace that now does this for more than 350 million products. Online retailers such as Amazon are able to carry on in a lockdown. But the pandemic reveals how large parts of the economy, including restaurants, hairdressers and many retail stores, rely on social interactions and consequently shut down. The pandemic also shows us that people make decisions not just selfishly, but based on altruism, doing good for other people. Key workers have put themselves at risk. Millions have volunteered to help members of their community, and people stayed at home not to protect themselves, but to protect the NHS and save the lives of others. In fact, non-selfish behaviour is essential for economic life. To prevent a second wave of the virus, people must behave in a socially responsible way and keep to physical distancing rules. Getting the economy moving again requires people to act out of a collective rather than a selfish interest. When it comes to rebuilding the economy, it's hard to imagine returning to exactly the way things were before. Covid-19 has changed what people want to buy and, at least for the time being, how they go about the ordinary business of life. Some businesses are struggling. Debenhams, Frankie and Benny's, Virgin Airlines. Others are booming. Amazon, Zoom, Ineos. There are new ways of doing things in a physically distanced world. Takeaways are the new restaurants. Robotic nurses in China are delivering medicines and meals and collecting bedsheets and rubbish. Schools and universities are providing online education. Crisis is the mother of innovation. And over time, innovations, just like steam engines and the light bulb, help to drive economic progress. There is one innovation that the economy desperately needs right now to help it recover. This is the vaccine against Covid-19. Multiple teams are racing to find one, bringing together scientists and private firms who hope to make money producing the vaccine at scale, and the government who's funding research. The government is a key actor in the economy. It can do things that people and firms can't do acting on their own. It is in a unique position in times of crisis to stabilise the economy and try to prevent the economy from shrinking too much.
The economic intervention that I'm announcing today is unprecedented in the history of the British state. Our planned economic response will be one of the most comprehensive in the world.
In the UK, the government has paid workers who have been temporarily laid off because of lockdown. It has done this to provide people with income when they need it, and to stop there being an even bigger reduction in economic activity. To do this, it has borrowed money. Money that will eventually have to be paid back out of the taxes that people pay in the future. In the meantime, many people need government support during the crisis. Covid-19 has exacerbated deep inequalities in society and hit certain groups of people particularly badly. Multiple inequalities have been brutally exposed. Low-skilled workers are more likely to lose their jobs. Black and minority ethnic people face higher death rates. Women are left to juggle additional childcare with work. Disadvantaged children have fallen further behind academically. Inequalities are like huge cracks in the modern economy. We need to ask why these inequalities exist and what can be done to address them. The crisis has also exposed the devastating consequences of economic growth for the natural world. Leading economist Partha Dasgupta described the virus as an SOS signal for human enterprise. The transmission of the virus to humans has been blamed on the destruction of natural habitats. Lockdown provided a period of respite from modern economic life and has given a brief glimpse into a better future. Cleaner air, clear skies over Delhi, fish in the Venice canals, prompting talk about finding a green growth path out of the Covid recession. The global economy is at a crossroads. Down one path, the prospect that countries might work together to develop and make available a vaccine, and that this might lead to greater cooperation to tackle our other major challenges, such as inequality and climate change. But there is another path, in which economic hardship and perceived failure of governments to deal with the crisis unleashes nationalism and xenophobia, and a blame game against China that leads potentially to a damaging trade war. Whichever path is taken, Covid-19 is likely to have long-lasting effects on our global economy, long after the worst of the health impacts are over.